Hare Krishna. So thank you, devotees, for joining in for our teachings of Queen Kunti study session. Let's begin with the prayers. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadhaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nidhi Namine Namaste Saraswate De Gauravani Pracharine निर्विशेष शून्यवादि पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरून् दिनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यमीश्वरं हरिः ओं तत्सत्। गुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तरालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। Hare Krishna. So thank you, devotees, for joining in for our teachings of Queen Kunti study session. So yesterday when we concluded the teachings of Queen Kunti study, we saw how it is very, very difficult to even see the soul, right? And we want to see God, right? So when we cannot even see our own soul, right, which is about 1/10,000 tip of a hair, right? We can't see, right? And our ears also can hear only a certain range of decibels, right? It cannot hear minute sounds or very, very loud voice also we cannot hear. Right? When that be the case, we have the limitation of our senses. And Prabhupada says, we have imperfect senses, we are an illusion, we think I am this body, and then we are prone to make mistakes, and we also are prone to cheat others. Right? Sometimes we make others believe that we are what we are not. While we are not that, we want to tell them that, oh, I'm very good in this, I'm expert in this. Well, we may not be so in that particular, just to impress others. Right? We go to the extent of cheating others. Right? So in all these cases, when we are so much imperfect, how is it that when we are not even able to, Prabhupada says we cannot even see our own hands, right? Unless we have the sunlight that's coming into the room, right? In the room of darkness, what can we see? You cannot see anything, isn't it? So when we have so many limitations and we can't see even things of the material world without help, how can we want to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead with our eyes? With so many disqualifications, with our imperfect material senses. So it's not possible, right? What is that verse? Na bhaved grahim indriyahi. Right? We are not able to understand the Supreme Lord with our senses. Sevon mukehi jivvadau swayameva suratyada. The devotional service, beginning with the tongue. That means chanting Hare Krishna mantra, honoring Krishna prasadam. Then we will be able to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead as much as the Lord reveals himself to us. Right? On that note, let's continue reading teachings of Queen Kunti. We are on chapter number 18. We are continuing from the section of how Prabhupada is telling us, or Kunti Devi herself is saying, it is very, very difficult to even see material things, to understand material things. Right? How can we understand the spiritual subject matters, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, through our material senses, through our experimental knowledge? It's not possible. All right, Shobha Mataji, go ahead. Of course, this is not possible to understand with experimental knowledge. So how can it be learned?
Haribol, thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Mataji and Prabhuji, Srila Prabhupada. Of course, this is not possible to understand by experimental knowledge. So how can it be learned? One must learn of this form and authority. Our knowledge is so imperfect from an authority. Our knowledge is so imperfect that it cannot deal with such subtle affairs, and become rascals cannot deal with such things. They think that matter is the cause of life. Nonetheless, they have not been able to demonstrate that life comes after matter. Let them take chemical in their laboratory and produce even a small insect with hands, legs, and eyes. Every night we see many of such small insects with legs and eyes, with which they approximate. From such small insects up to Brahma, there are 84 lakh different forms of life, among which we are traveling from body to body, leaving one body and entering another, as stated by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, Tatha Dehantara Praptihi. Therefore, either we must reject Krishna's word or reject all the so-called scientific theories that life comes out from matter. But we pledge to Krishna consciousness that therefore we cannot reject Krishna's word. We accept Krishna when he says that we have to travel from one body to another. Every living thing within this material world is under the influence of avidya, ignorance, avidya, karma, samjna, tritya, shakti, isyakte. God Krishna has many millions of potencies. Parasya Sakti Vividhaiva Shrutyate. And they have been summarized in three categories: the external potencies, the internal potency, and the marginal potency. The marginal potency and the internal potency are the same spiritual quality, but the third potency, the external potency, is inferior. Vishnu Shakti Paraprokta Kshetrajnaha Tata Para Avidya Karma Samjna Tritiya Shaktir Ishyate. This is reference from Vishnu Purana 6.7.61. In this material world, everyone is in ignorance, avidya. Even Brahma was ignorant until he was given knowledge by Krishna. Therefore, no one should be proud of his knowledge. Everyone in this material world is a rascal. A particular living entity desires, if I can get the opportunity to obtain the post of Brahma, then I can create a big universe. Thus he receives the body of Brahma. And the small insect thinks, if I can create a small hole within this room, then I can live very peacefully in it. Thus Brahma desires to create a universe, we desire to create a skyscraper, and an ant desires to create a hole in a room. But the quality of the work is the same. We are all fools, however, because we do not realize that because these things are material, they will not last. Because of ignorance, we think this is very nice. That is very nice. Kama karma bhi. We create some desire, karma, and then we work accordingly. This result is so many difficulties. Klish, Klishyanti. To become Brahma is not a very simple, very easy thing. Brahma is such a big force and it is given to a very qualified living entity who is highly advanced in austerities and penance. But he is also a living entity like us. In America, there are many citizens. The President Ford is also a citizen, but by by dint of his ardent labor and diplomacy, he captured the post. Still, he's an ordinary citizen. President Nixon, for example, has now been dragged down and is no longer president. This is because he was an ordinary citizen. Simply, if we like, we may also become Brahma. Therefore, Bhakti Vedanta Thakura says, Kitajnana hoya yata tuyadasha bahirmukha Brahma janmena hi asha. Let me become an insect in a place where your devotee is present, because if I fall down in the dust of the feet of a devotee, my life will be successful. Bhaktivinoda Thakura says, Bahirmukha Brahma Jnane Janme Nahi Asha. I would not want to be a Brahma and not to be a devotee of Krishna, because we are in ignorance, Maya. At any time we may forget Krishna. Therefore, we must always engage in Krishna consciousness so that we shall not forget him. That is indicated by Kutidevi by the words Shravana Smrada Naharani. The word
Smara.
Shravana means hearing. Shravana means hearing, Smarana means remembering, Arhana means worshipping the deity. Arhana means worshipping the deity of Krishna. One should always engage oneself in hearing about, remembering, and worshiping Krishna. All the centers of the Krishna consciousness movement are opened only for this purpose, to facilitate chanting, dancing, and worshipping, so that we shall not forget Krishna. Sada tad bhava bhavitaha. If we always think of Krishna, there is a chance that we shall remember Krishna at the end of the life. Anta Narayana Smriti. Everything takes practice. For example,
Thank
if
you.
one
Thank
wants
you,
to dance.
Mataji.
Hari Bol.
Hari
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna. So that is the goal of all that we're doing. Like in the Brahma Murta program also we were discussing. Smartavya satatam Vishnur Vismartavyo na jatu chit Sarve vidini shedyasur Etayor eva kinkaraha. So we are studying Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. We are chanting extra rounds of Hare Krishna Mantra. We are singing Damodara Ashtakam. We are singing Brahma Samhita every day in this month of Kartik, because Brahma is our Adi Guru. He is the Guru of our Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava Guru Parampara, where he got the personal knowledge directly from Lord Sri Krishna. So we're doing all of these things. Why are we doing all of these things? Smartavya Satatam Vishnur Vismartavyo na Jatuchit. Always remember Krishna, to never forget Krishna. That's why Anta Narayana Smriti. We want to remember Krishna at the time of death. In order to remember Krishna at the time of death, we have to remember Krishna throughout our life. In order to remember Krishna throughout our life, what are we supposed to do? Shravanam, Smaranam, Arhani. Shravanam, to hear about the Lord. Smaranam is to remember the Lord. Arhani means to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that's what our acharyas also, they sing, right? They are saying, even if I am born as a worm, right, let me be born in a family of devotees, right? But not being a devotee, I don't even want to become Brahma, right? A Brahma Bhuvanan Loka Punar Avartino Arjuna, right? Because if we become Brahma, we want to create big universes. Because that is a duty of Brahma, right? That's why he's been created. And Prabhupada says, as a living entity, we want to build big mansions, 3 BHK, 4 BHK, like that. We want to create more and more. As an ant, the ant also wants to create a small ant hole to want to go and stay cozily inside that hole, isn't it? So all of us want to create and enjoy according to our ability and according to our capacity. Jaladanavalakshani Stavara Lakshvimshati. Kramiyo Rudra Sankhyakaa Pakshinam Dashalakshanaam. Trimshallakshani Pashavaha Chaturlakshani Manusha. Right from reptiles to animals to birds to the various aquatics to 400,000 species of human beings. All of us are trying according to our capacity to want to create something, stay there and enjoy. Right? That is the way we want to enjoy our life. Okay, just give me a second, devotees. I'll be back. Okay, so we want to create and we want to enjoy, right? Whether it is Brahma, whether it is living entity, whether it is ant, right? That is all we want to do. But what does a devotee want? Devotee, Bhakti Vinod Thakur sings, right? Kita janma ho jata tuadasa bahirmukha Brahma janme nahi asha. Bahirmukha Brahma Janme, right? But if I am not engaged in devotional service, then I don't want to become Brahma and I don't want to create all these universes. That will increase my false pride. But rather, even if I am born as a worm, right, with no big ambitions, right, I just live wherever I am placed. But I want to be born in the family of devotees. Bahirmukha Brahma Janme nahi ash. Kitta Janma Haujata Tuadas, right? I want to be the servant of the servant of the servant of Lord Krishna. Even if I am born as a worm or an insect, right? But Bahirmukha Brahma Janme nahi ash. But my desire, Bhakti Vinod Thakur's desire, right? We are all followers of all of our acharyas from the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava Guru Parampara, right? Right from Brahma, right, to the lowest ant is all having desires for sense gratification. Like Prabhupada tells in a lecture, a pig also thinks I'm enjoying when it is eating the stool. When it is rejecting pineapple halwa and it is eating the stool, the pig thinks I'm enjoying. Right? So we all have our own material conceptions of what we think is our enjoyment. We are all working so hard to get that kind of enjoyment. And it's ultimately Ugra Karma. Because everything, either the enjoyment will be taken away, the object of sense enjoyment will be taken away, or we will be taken away. Right? When the body dies, then we don't even claim this to be our body. Right? Because when this body is taken away and the soul leaves the body, then this body itself will have no meaning. Then what to speak of our other material attachments, right? Whether this laptop or this study table or the desk or the pillow or the whatever it is. Yeah. So it is foolishness to think that I will attain all of these things or accumulate all of these things. I'll be happy, right? We cannot be happy. Even if we accumulate all the things that we want to accumulate, we will not be happy. One, because we may not get exactly what we wanted. Two, even if we get exactly what we wanted, we want more of it. Three, even if we get as much as we wanted, it will be ultimately taken away. So what is the use? Right? What is the use of desiring something that will be taken away ultimately? And it has the propensity to give as much more misery than the happiness that it gave. Right? For example, we have a nice mobile phone, latest mobile phone, or we have the latest Mercedes-Benz car. Right? You're so happy. We're on cloud 9. Don't take photo and send it in all of our, social media platforms. The next day, a scratch occurs on the car or on the latest mobile. There is a scratch in our heart, isn't it? As much joy as I felt in getting that new mobile or the new car, much greater misery I am getting because of a small scratch. in that particular mobile or the car. So what use is this happiness where the misery exceeds the happiness, right? That's why in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Yehi samsparsha bhoga dukkha yone evate Adi antavanta kaunteya nateshu ramate buddhaha. An intelligent person, buddhaha, nateshu, will not relish in sense enjoyment, in wanting to enjoy these material objects, whether it is a Mercedes-Benz car or whether it is the latest mobile. Why? Because Yehi samsparsha bhoga, this bhoga or this enjoyment is dukkha yone evate, is planting the seed for misery. So, adi antavanta kaunteya, and it has a beginning and it has an end. And hence, a devotee or an intelligent person will not relish in such kind of material things. But what can really give us that happiness that we're always seeking for, right? In Dukhalayam, right? Krishna says, this Dukhalayam Ashashvatam. We are seeking Sukha and Dukhalayam. That's why we're frustrated. So, where is it that we will get Sukha, right? That is Shravana, Smrita, what is it? Shravanam, Smaranam, Arhani. By hearing about the Lord, by remembering the Lord, and by worshipping the Lord, Arhani, that will give us real pleasure, right? Bhava bhavitaha, always remembering Krishna, never forgetting Krishna. Ante Narayana Smritihi. Remember Krishna at the time of death. Even at the time of death, if our kapha, vata, pitta are all imbalanced, you're not able to think of anything, not in our consciousness. Yet, by remembering Krishna throughout our lives, Smartavya, Satatam Vishnur, always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. When we are healthy, when we are able to talk, when we are able to walk, when we are able to desire to always hear about Krishna, desire to always remember Krishna, desire to always worship Krishna, then at the time of death, we'll be able to remember Krishna. That is a formula that is very nicely given by Srila Prabhupada. You simply need to follow this formula. It works. It has worked for so many. If it is not working for us, then you're not applying the formula correctly. Right? We need to apply the formula more. Somebody asked Prabhupada, I don't feel like chanting. Right? Prabhupada said, chant more. Another devotee asked Prabhupada, all of these disciples, my God brothers and God sisters, they are feeling so much excitement in seeing you. They are offering obeisances to you. I don't feel that excitement. I don't feel wanting to offer obeisance to you. Prabhupada said, just offer obeisances. Right? Then we continue to do, because it is a matter of duty that I have to chant Hare Krishna. I have to worship Krishna. And that is for my ultimate benefit. Then by simply doing that process, by hankering to receive the love of Godhead, by hankering to developing taste to chanting Hare Krishna mantra for Krishna's pleasure, we will develop that taste. And then it will become a way of life. And then it will not be a sense of duty, but it will be with a sense of love and devotion that we will engage in these devotional practices. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smarnam, Archanam, Mandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma, Nivedanam. And predominantly these three things which I mentioned here by Prabhupada. What are those three things? Shravanam, Smaranam, Arhani. Hearing, remembering, and worshipping Lord Krishna. Okay, let's move ahead. Everything takes practice, right? Abhyasena tu kaunteya, vairagena chagriyate, right? Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita. That's exactly what Prabhupada is also telling here. Everything takes practice. If you don't have taste in chanting, chant more. If you don't have taste in singing bhajans, sing more bhajans. If you don't have taste in hearing Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, hear Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita from our bona fide gurus, our Siksha gurus, our Diksha guru. In that way, develop a taste. Everything takes practice. Yes, Deval Mataji, go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dhanvatana.
Sorry,
1 second. Yeah, everything takes practice. For example, if one wants to dance on the stage, one has to perform many rehearsals to practice how to dance. Then if one becomes an expert dancer, when one dances on stage, one will receive acclaim. A very good dancer, but one cannot say, I shall go immediately to the stage and become a good dancer. That is not possible. One may say, no, I shall not attend the rehearsal. Just give me the stage and I shall perform. But the director will not allow this. One cannot become a good dancer without practice. The real purpose of life is to remember Krishna when one's life comes to an end. Ante Narayana Smritihi. If at the time of death one can remember Krishna, one's life is successful. In this material world, Hare Krishna. In this material world, one must suffer from material miseries, but rascals do not care to understand this, for they are absorbed in ignorance. A smuggler may go on with his work, even though he knows that he will be arrested and punished. A thief may know that he will be arrested and punished for criminal acts, and he may even have been punished several times, but still he will commit the same crime again. Punah punas charvita charvananam. Why ignorance? He is so much absorbed in ignorance that he does not think, I am repeatedly stealing and being repeatedly arrested and sent to jail to be punished. Why am I doing this? The result is not good. A person who is too much sexually inclined may suffer many times from venereal diseases and have to undergo treatment, but still he will go to a prostitute again. This is avaidha stri sangha, illegitimate sex. But even legitimate sex involves so many difficulties. After sex, a woman becomes pregnant and has to suffer for 10 months. And at the time of delivery, there is also sometimes very great danger. And the father, after the child is born, must take care of the child and work hard to provide for its education. Therefore, the Vedic literature says, Bahu dukkha bhajaha. After sex, legitimate or illegitimate, there are so many troubles. Tripyanti neha kripanaha. But one who is an ignorant rascal will not be satisfied. Instead, he will do the same things again and again. Punah punas charvananam. This is called bhavaroga, the disease of material existence. Yan maitunadi grahamedi sukham hi tuchham. Kanduyanena Karayor, Eva Dukkha Dukkham. Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 9th chapter, 45th verse. In the Vedic civilization, therefore, small boys are trained to remain brahmachari, celibate, and not involve themselves in the troubles of sex. But if one is unable to remain brahmachari, he is allowed to marry. After being trained in the beginning as a brahmachari, he will not stay for many years in family life, but will very soon become vanaprastha, retired, and then accept sannyasa, the renounced order of life. In this material world, everyone is suffering. The birds, the beasts, the trees, the animals, the plants, and even Brahma and Indra. Indra is also not safe. He is always in anxiety about competitors who may come. Tat sadhu manya suravarya dehinam sada samudvigna dhyam asad grahat. Bhagavatam 7.55. Why is everyone in this material world always in anxiety? Avidya kama karma bihi. Because they are rascals. Therefore, Krishna stresses, you rascal, give up your all nonsense and surrender unto me. This is Krishna's very good mercy. He is the Supreme Father. Therefore, he directly says, Sarva Guhyatamam. This is the most confidential knowledge. Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. You rascal, give up everything and simply surrender unto me. Therefore, Kunti says, you have come to teach rascals like this and engage them in hearing, remembering, and worship. This is bhakti. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnuho Smaranam. One should hear and chant about Vishnu, Krishna. But as soon as devotees begin to hear and chant about Vishnu, some rascal Swami will say, not here. No, hearing or chanting any name will do. Why Vishnu? Why not Kali? In Bengal, there is a group of people who have invented Kali Kirtana, chanting the name of the demigoddess Kali. What is this nonsense? In the Vedic literature, there is no such thing as Kali Kirtana. Kirtana means Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnuho, hearing and chanting about Vishnu Krishna. The Vedic literature recommends Harer Nama chanting of the holy name of Hari Krishna and no one else. This Shravanam Kirtanam, hearing and chanting, was described very nicely by Shukadeva Goswami in the 2nd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
I was on mute. Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Very interesting, isn't it? The section is so wonderful, right? So first is we don't have taste in chanting Hare Krishna. Second is we want to act, right? This is the propensity to cheat others, right? We want to project as if we know everything, right? Why? Okay, chanting is okay, but then why chant Hare Krishna? We will chant the name of Kali, the name of Durga, the name of Ganesha. We will chant, Lord Shiva's names, right? So first is we don't want to follow authority. That is the basic criteria. Because we don't want to follow authority, we want to follow those people who tell what we like to hear, right? So if somebody tells it's okay, once or twice it is okay, watch TV 1 hour a day, it's okay. 24 hours are there. Whenever we watch TV, nothing will happen. And then we are like, okay, this is very nice instruction. So let me accept this instruction from this person, right? So like that, we will choose our instructions that we want to hear, that we like to do. And then we want to cover it up, right? We always want to be defensive. We want to cover it up that this is my guru's instruction. Okay. So, in some way or the other, right? So once in a while it is okay, right? Entertainment, right? And then we want to capture those things and I make it a rule, right? So, but our gurus have clearly told us no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex, right? These four, Prabhupada says, are the basic principles that distinguish a human being from an animal. Otherwise, one is as good as an animal, right? And one of the important things there is no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex, no intoxication, right? Sometimes, even people say that everything needs to be done in moderation. So a little bit of TV is also allowed, little bit of entertainment is also allowed. Yes, little bit of entertainment is allowed, but what kind of entertainment? Does it entertainment what do you call, an impression in your heart that takes you away from devotional service? Right? We need to be intelligent, right? Yes, Krishna says we need recreation, we need work, right? Ahara nidra, no, what is that verse? Yuktahara viharasya, yukta chestasya karmashu, yukta swapnavabodhasya, yogo bhavati dukkha. Yes, Krishna is saying we have to be regulated in our eating, in our sleep, in our work, in our recreation. Yes, recreation is important, right? And recreation can be Krishna conscious also, right? You can sing nice Vaishnava bhajans if you want to sing. You can dance. About the leelas of Krishna if you like to dance. If you like to visit places, you can go on yatras, right? We can with our gurus. You can enjoy the greenery. If you want to go, you can go to Himalayas. You can go on the Tirtha, right? So there is recreation and it has to be regulated because we're not leaving everything and going to the Himalayas also, right? We are doing our duty. We are performing our work according to the modes that we have acquired. And at the same time, we are following instructions of our gurus. Right? Even sannyasis, they're not, ISKCON sannyasis also, they don't go and settle down in the Himalayas, or they don't go to Vrindavan and settle down under a tree, isn't it? Why? Because Prabhupada is told that even better than those who are sitting under the trees under Vrindavan are those devotees who go out of Vrindavan, taking Vrindavan consciousness to wherever they go and preach Krishna consciousness. And that's Prabhupada. At the age of 70, right, when a sannyasi, right, more so a 70-year-old man, right, generally what do they want to do? They simply want to settle down. They want to just do their own bhajana, right? Even the best of the devotees, that's what they want to do. We want to remember Krishna at the time of death. So we want to work in a way that's the pleasing to Krishna. And Krishna says, what is that verse? Meditating upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. It says, right, the great devotees, what do? Dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. Finally, they reach a samadhi. It means they remember the Lord in their heart and they have no inclinations towards anything of this material world. They don't have any hankering. They don't have any lamentation. They always remember Supreme in their heart. They are wonderful. They are so perfect, right? Where are we in comparison to them? We are nowhere. Right? We are still in this material world, struggling with anarthas, struggling with a desire to enjoy, right? But then, even better than those people who have realized the Lord in their hearts, Krishna says, Madgaten antaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yukta tamo mataha. Right? Yoginam api sarvesham madgaten antaratmana. The best of the yogis is that person who always thinks of me, who renders devotional service unto me with faith. Madgaten antaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam renders devotional service with faith. Same yukta tamomata. I am in that person is in me. Right? So in this way, whatever we may do, why are we doing it? And whose authority are we doing it? Right? The lowest stage is puna charvita charvananam. Okay, I will do what I like to do. I like to eat rasagullas. I will eat rasagullas. I like to go out during the evening time to take a walk. I will do that. Right? That doubting propensity is also not there. That is the lowest level. Punah charvita charvananam. Again and again we are trying to enjoy. That is called bhava roga. Right? What is that? Bhava roga, the disease of material existence. Right? We want to enjoy. Right? What is in it for me? Like that. But then higher than that is doubting our propensities in the service of the Lord. What is that doubting? Doubting means if I like to sing. Right? I have sang so many Bollywood songs, in my CA days, in my college days, so many Bollywood songs. At least we now realize that we doubted that propensity to sing in singing bhajans of the Lord, in glorifying the Lord. That is the nascent stage. right? That is a neophyte stage, that at least we try to dovetail our propensities in serving the Lord. But then Sarva Guhyatamam, the most confidential knowledge, that is Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. Krishna says, give up everything, right? Not your Swadharma, right? Give up the cheating mentality, right? And then Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. Surrender to the Lord. Surrender to the Lord means surrender to Guru. Surrender to Guru means hear from the Guru. Hear from the Guru means it has no value when we're not implementing the instructions of the Guru. So in that way, when we follow the process given by Prahlad Maharaj, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Swaranam, Artanam, Archanam, Mandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam, under the bona fide guidance of a spiritual master who is coming in a bona fide parampara, and even if our spiritual master is very busy, right, we still take guidance from our Shiksha Gurus who enable us to perform our Swadharma in a way that's pleasing to Guru and Gauranga. And that is the perfection of life. Harer Nama, Iva Kevalam, Kalo Nastyeva, Nastyeva, Nastyeva Gatiranyata. Yes, chanting Hare Krishna will give us all perfection. But in order to chant Hare Krishna properly with absorption in the 2 hours, we need to live in a way that facilitates our chanting Hare Krishna properly. That is, the remaining 22 hours have to be spent properly in the association of devotees, or in the association of those devotees who are all having this goal of Krishna Prema, right? Who want to attain Krishna Prema, right? When we are in association of those devotees, when we are performing all of our Swadharma and our Sanatana Dharma in the association of those devotees who are sincerely trying to practice Krishna consciousness, then our 2 hours chanting will be in such a way that is absorbing ourselves in the holy name of the Lord. Otherwise, we'll be chanting, but then we may not attain the desired success, which is Krishna Prema. Yes, the process is purifying, but how fast? Ye tamam prapadyante tam sataiva bhajamiham. Right? Guru Maharaj also was mentioning in the class yesterday. Right? As we surrender to the Lord rewards accordingly. When we please our Gurus, Krishna's mercy reaches us much faster through the Guru Parampara. Okay, let's move ahead. We have about 7 minutes. All right, quickly, Sindhu Mataji, go ahead. This Shravanam, Kirtanam, and then Karpavali Mataji. Yes.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams.
Pranams.
Haribol Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I'm just reading from the book once again, Mataji.
This Shravanam, Kirtanam, hearing and chanting was described very nicely by Shukadeva Goswami. The second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 2.4.15,
yes,
he said.
Got it. This Shravanam, Kirtanam, hearing and chanting.
Mataji, you have to continue. We have 7 minutes. Yat Kirtanam, Yat Smaranam, Yat Ikshanam, Yat Vandanam, Yat Shravanam, Yat Lokasya Sadyo Vidunoti Kalmasham Tasma Chubhadra Shravase Namo Namaha. Mataji, please continue from here before speaking Srimad Bhagavatam from there.
Yeah, Mataji. Before speaking Srimad Bhagavatam, Shukadeva Goswami offered his obeisances to Krishna with this verse. He said, I offer my obeisances unto him, for simply hearing of him is Shubhadra, auspicious. The entire Bhagavatam is glorification of Krishna, and this is glorification by Shukadeva Goswami. He says that one can be perfectly purified if one either glorifies Krishna, meditates upon him, or simply sits before the deity of Krishna and sees him, thinking how nicely dressed is Krishna, how nicely dressed is Radharani. If one has no ability to chant, or if one's mind is so disturbed that one cannot fix it upon Krishna, one is given this chance. Here is the deity. Simply see him. If one is engaged in the service of the deity, there is a good chance of always seeing him 24 hours a day. While cleansing the floor of the temple, while dressing the deity, while bathing the deity, or while offering him food, one will always see him. This is the process of devotional service, but people are such fallen rascals that they do not even go to see the deity. Oh, they think, what is this deity worship? It is idol worship. They may worship the statue of Gandhi or someone else, but when asked to come to see the worship of the deity, they will say, no, this is idol worship.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Karpavali Mataji, quickly, Mataji, we have about 4 minutes. Please read the next paragraph and then we continue.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. I've seen that in Calcutta and in Chaurangi Square, there is a statue of Sir Ostusa Mukherjee. Throughout the year, the crows pass stool on his face. The stool becomes caked on, and so on one day a year, the ordinary sweepers cleanse the statue with their brush in the morning, and in the evening, some big men come and garland him with flowers. Then after that evening, they go away, and again the next morning, the crows come to pass stool on his face. So this is kind of worship is accepted. sweeping the face of the Sir Ostosa Mukherjee with the municipal brush. But if we install the deity of Krishna and worship him nicely, people will say that this is idol worship. So people
Okay,
are
thank you.
embarrassed.
Anusha Mataji,
Thank
go
you.
ahead. Last paragraph.
Thank you,
Hare
Mother.
Krishna. Two people are embarrassed by being entangled in avidya, ignorance, and the method by which to educate them and rescue them from the clutches of this ignorance is devotional service. As explained by Shukdev Goswami, one may chant the name of Krishna or meditate upon Krishna, or if one cannot meditate, one may simply sit down and see Krishna. Even a child can see, here is Krishna, here is Radharani. Even a small child or even an animal can do this and benefit. Or if one is more intelligent, one may offer prayers, and if one is expert and has been trained by a spiritual master, one may perform appropriate worship. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Dandavat pranams. So, I'm just remembering, I was remembering this as as Mataji was reading. Once Saraswati was with Prabhupada, and Saraswati's mother is Malati Devi, right? So, they had got a very nice Krishna made of a metal, which Prabhupada had received. And Prabhupada was having it, and Prabhupada gave it to Saraswati, that little girl. And Saraswati was playing with that Krishna deity all the time, running and playing with that Krishna deity, and she left it in a particular place, toy, right? And she started playing other things. At that time, Prabhupada took the Krishna and kept it with him. And then later on, Saraswati wanted to play with Krishna. And he's like, where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? She could not find because Prabhupada had taken it. They taken the Krishna toy, and she was running hither and thither. And she was crying, where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? And then, her mother called Saraswati and told, who amongst us has Krishna? Who can give you Krishna? And then immediately Saraswati jumped, a small little girl, 5-year-old. She jumped and ran towards Prabhupada. Prabhupada, where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? And Prabhupada took the Krishna and gave it to Saraswati. So like that, Prabhupada says, even a dog can take part in the chanting, even a child can take part in the chanting. But only that we need proper guidance. We need to be guided and in the right way. And we need to redevelop or reawaken our love for Krishna. It does not require very, very stringent austerities, does not require very, very too much intelligence to memorize the shlokas. Nothing is required. We only need to love Krishna. We only need to accept a spiritual master who can reveal Krishna to us, whom we can sincerely surrender and take their word as our mission statement for our life. And if we can do that, then Krishna will reveal himself according to how much we are pleasing our gurus. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, teachings of Queen Kunti ki jai. So we have about 1 minute left. We'll quickly do Harinam Sankirtan. I'd request all the devotees switch on your cameras. Very nice to see Anusha Mataji, Karpagavali Mataji, and Shobha Mataji. Other devotees can also switch on your cameras if possible. Namo Om Vishnu Padhaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatyavishatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama